Angry guy here. And the world is collapsing as men abandon society and women scorch the earth. The world is collapsing as men abandon society and women scorch the earth. So I wanted to discuss this with you guys. It's pretty crazy what's happening around us. It's really sad, but it's just the reality that we are now living in as a result of the actions of women in Western society. Women had everything, and guess what? That was not enough for them. And are you seeing the results of what happens when men walk away? The irony is that women believe that they hold up half the sky, but is that really true?
Hear about the Iceland strike?
Strike,
Bro. So Iceland, which I would probably argue, don't ban me from Iceland, government. I'm just talking. Chill. I mean, they're going to ban me. They're going to end up saying he's not allowed here. I'm sure it's very nice. Iceland, which I would argue, is probably going to be one of the most liberal countries in the world, I'd argue. I'd also argue that women are treated pretty fairly in Iceland, I'd argue. I mean, it's not Pakistan or something. So all the women in Iceland decide to go on a strike because they don't get paid enough. In Iceland, where I'm sure they're paid the same as men.
Thousands of women in Iceland took part in a strike to protest against gender discrimination. Shops, banks and schools across the Nordic nation were shut or opened for shorter hours as female staff stayed home. Much of the capital city centre was closed to traffic for a rally held for women taking part in the strike.
So 100,000 women went on strike, which is a third of the population of the country, for 4 whole days. And they went on this strike to prove, I think even the Prime Minister, bro, they're definitely going to ban me. The Prime Minister went on strike herself.
Ég hyggst sjálf leggja niður störf til að sýna konum samstöðu því fullu jafnrétti er enn ekki náð á Íslandi. Þó að við stöndum framalega svona í alþjóðlegum samanburði, þá erum við bara enn á þeim stað 2023 og fullu jafnrétti er ekki náð. Við erum enn að takast á við kynbundinn launamun, við erum enn að takast á við kynbundið ofbeldi. Og til að sýna konum á Íslandi samstöðu, þá mun ég leggja niður störf og hef hvatt konur í mínu ráðuneyti og kvár til að gera slíkt hið sama og hvet allar konur og kvár til að gera slíkt hið sama.
So for 4 days, none of the women worked. A third of the entire country, 0% of the female workforce went to work to prove how important women were. Do you know what happened?
Tell me.
Nothing. The roads still worked. The traffic lights still worked. There was still electricity. The police still turned up. The firemen still turned up because the men do the real work. Oh, there was no HR department for 4 days. Oh, no. What are we going to do about the gender equality diversity department? Turns out that they just proved themselves wrong, because if for 4 days all the men didn't go to work, society would crumble instantly. And it's a shame that it is the men which are so vital to society, which are the ones which are permanently demonized.
Now, guys, I want you to think about that very carefully. So, these women didn't go to work for 4 days. The Prime Minister also refused to work for 4 days. That's the leader of the country in Iceland. They have a Prime Minister. You know, like in the UK, instead of a president, they have the Prime Minister. That is essentially their president. She took 4 days off to show that, you know, in solidarity with other women, women are still not being treated fairly. In Iceland, one of the most feminist countries in the world, they have a matriarchy in Iceland. A matriarchy. What happened? Absolutely nothing. Guys, this actually happened in the United States as well. A number of years ago. Women basically went to their ladies' march in Washington. You guys remember those pink hats? The pink golden V hats? They were all wearing. They all took the day off. Millions of women. It was like the, Million Woman March, and they took the day off. They went to Washington, D.C., and guess what happened? Absolutely nothing. Nothing happened whatsoever. In the end, men showed up for work. Men held everything down. The planes kept on flying. The trains kept on moving. The buses kept on moving. The lights didn't go out. The The HR, you know what, HR was closed down for a day, and that was it. That was it. And I read an article by a woman who said that, she was a woman who wrote this article, and she said she's the one who pointed this out. And she said if men ever tried something like this, she was positive it would be, it would basically be, a run up to a trial run for the apocalypse. And it's absolutely true. Guys, think about the events of 2020. Think about what happened back in 2020. And I want you to consider the fact that while all of this was happening, the police officers still had to be out on the streets. People running plants, keeping the electricity on, still had to be in the power plants, keeping the power on. The first responders were predominantly men, firefighters, paramedics, EMTs, still had to be out in the streets. In the end, the men still had to do everything. The infrastructure still had to be maintained. This is the reality. They say that they hold up half the sky, but when men walk away, everything crumbles. And guys, the world around us is absolutely collapsing. And yet, what are women doing? They are scorching the earth. I like this comment from Mayumi. She said, this was in response to one of my videos. Women are suffering as men grill steak and enjoy life. And she said, and just for you, you guys know who Mayumi is, but for those of you watching for the first time, she is our favorite pediatrician, resident troll. And she says, while the guys, like my husband, are cooking Zulu-style barbecue, her husband is of African and Asian descent, Japanese descent. While the guys, like my husband, are cooking Zulu-style barbecue and having fun, he looks over to see us playing airsoft. Yes, besides a few things I purchased on my return to Japan with my husband and children, I visited Tokyo Maru, and brought airsoft stuff. So me and my friends and our husbands included, we fed our airsoft hobby. One complaint I have is our husbands are really good at airsoft. Darn combat veterans. Still fun. Also fun to see how my husband reacts in milsim games. And I find that pretty interesting. And I responded, this was actually a little while ago. I said, most American women cannot enjoy this kind of fun. They've lost their humanity. The most enjoyable things in life are usually simple, free, or inexpensive. They are not fit to be wives, raise children, or have families. The proof is also in the pudding. They've had decades to prove themselves since entering the workforce back in the 70s. And our communities are a train wreck, our country is divided, and our children are stupid. They have voided their rights to motherhood. Guys, if you're enjoying the content, help get the channel to 100,000 subscribers on our journey to 2 million by subscribing to the channel if you already have it, liking the video, and turning on notifications to never miss another video ever again. I find it pretty interesting. When we look at the way society is right now, it's pretty sad, it's kind of sick because of the choices that people have made. The simps will always be simps, and the simps have to be held accountable. But it's crazy what modern women have done. Modern women chose the state, and they chose feminism. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Feminism did not exploit women. Women exploited feminism, and they did it to the fullest. Guys, I said this years ago. I said women would say, feminism got us everything we wanted, now let's fight it together. I told you this. I told you this. And I've said that even though the label feminism may go away, the legacy of feminism would live on. Feminism will never fully go away. And so, there was a woman who actually said this. She left a comment years ago on one of my videos. She said, feminism never goes away. I believe it was on one of my videos. She said, feminism never goes away. It just goes underground. So guys, when society collapses, starts to collapse, they always put the men back on top. This is how it works. When things go downhill, women tear down society, they put the men back on top, and they demand that the men fix things. Oh, we need real men. We need masculine men. And of course you'll see the guys. You'll see the commercials. I'm telling you guys, things go to hell. Things are going to hell right now, and they get that bad, and the women start screeching and hollering that we want real men. All of a sudden, you'll see Ford and all these companies and Bud and yes, even Budweiser, all these woke brands, okay, demanding that men man up and you need to be masculine again, countryman, get out of here. Oh my God, you see some guy with like a AK and like drinking beer and saying and with his buddies, yeah. But of course, then there's of course, we're still about diversity, so there has to be women standing alongside them. But you're manly. You're manly. You guys need to go be men and man up. Of course, but we're still equal. There are women right by doing everything that you can do because they can do it just as well as you and better. But you guys need to stand up and you need to go and do these jobs. Of course, that the women can do as well and just as well as you. Although you guys need to go do them and yeah, respect women, respect all women. Like I'm telling you, guys, things get bad enough. You'll see commercials like this popping up. You'll see the government saying you need to man up. Guys, these military veterans, I'm telling y'all, be very, very careful of these recruiters, okay? Because they'll be out there in the streets telling you that you're a punk. They don't think that you wouldn't even make it in the military. You wouldn't make it in the Marines. They'll start talking crap to you. They'll start talking a whole load of crap to you and everything. And the thing is, like, most guys today will just laugh in their face, like, okay, that's nice, buddy. You have a good one. But guys, this is how they work. This is a nonsense. This is a nonsensical games they play. Be very careful with these people. All right. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. If it gets bad enough, and war is on the horizon, guys, do not get on the bus. You heard this from Uncle Angry already. Okay, you were warned. I spoke to you. If you are foolish enough to get on the bus, listen, you play stupid games, win stupid prize. Oh no, Angry, no, I was scared. I told you, do not get on the bus. It is not a negotiation. Do not get on the bus, okay? Because if it gets bad enough, they'll come looking for you. All right, saying, listen, go get on the bus. We're just going for we're going for a ride. Do not get on the bus. I don't care how they threaten you. Listen, man, it's either this or prison. Prison is fine with me. Prison is fine with me. Okay? Don't let them scare you. Under no circumstance get on the bus because they're going to say that no one forced you to get on the bus. You chose to get on the bus. We got you now. We got you now. All right? And if you refuse to get off the bus, like, when they pull it, listen to me. They're going to pull all kinds of BS because, when you're supposed to see a drill sergeant waiting for you when you get off the bus. They'll pull up and act like, oh, this is just for a conversation. No. Do not get on the bus. Do not get on the bus because the thing is, once you get on the bus, they'll drag you off the bus. All right. Once you get on the bus and you get to where you need to get to, basic training, they'll drag you off the bus. Anyway, guys, enjoy the video. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWM and walking away. And cheers.